Today, we are going to learn how to determine the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons for ions. You might already know how to figure this out for a neutral atom, but with ions, there's a small twist. So let's break it down step by step. First, it's important to know when you're dealing with a neutral atom and when you're dealing with an ion. But how can you tell the difference? Here's a simple trick. Just look at the top right corner of the element symbol. If there's nothing written there, you're working with the neutral atom. But if you see a positive or negative charge, you got yourself an ion. Let me show you an example. Here's a group of elements. So if you look closely, there's nothing written in the top right corner of these symbols. Exactly right here. As you can see, nothing written over there. When this happens, it means this has a neutral charge of 0. 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. So this means this group of elements are neutral atoms. I'm just write atoms. Now let's take a second group. So notice how each of these has a positive or negative charge written in the top right corner. Right here you have a +1 charge, you have a +1 charge, you have a -1 charge, you have a -3 charge. So this group of elements we call ions. So in summary, the first group with no charges consists of neutral atoms. The second group with charges consists of ions. Okay, now that we've cleared that up, let's move on to figuring out the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in ions. So we have this first example, aluminum ion with a +3 charge, mass number 27, and the atomic number of 13. So to solve this number of protons, the number of protons, just like we did with neutral atoms, is equal to the atomic number 13. The number of neutrons is equal to the difference between the mass number and the atomic number, 27 minus 13, and that is 14. The number of electrons is equal to the atomic number 13 minus, and pay attention, minus +3, because we have a +3 a charge. Differently from the neutral atoms, the charge number was always 0, but for ions it is either a positive number or a negative number. So in this case is 13 minus positive 3. So the number of electrons is equal to 13 minus 3, and this is equal to 10. Next up, we have sulfide ion with a negative 2 charge. So to solve this, the number of protons, as always, is equal to the atomic number 16. The number of neutrons is equal to 32 minus 16, which is equal to 16. And the number of electrons is equal to 16 minus negative 2. Remember, the charge is negative 2. So the number of electrons is the same as 16 plus 2, and this is equal to 18 electrons. Next up, we have chloride ion with a negative 1 charge, and this is protons 17, neutrons 35 minus 17, and electrons 17. Oh, I'm sorry. The difference between 35 and 17 is 18 neutrons. Electron is going to be equal to 17 minus negative 1. This is the same as 17 plus 1, and this is going to be equal to 18 electrons. We also have oxide ion with a negative 2 charge. So we have oxide ion with negative 2 charge, and to solve this, as always, proton is going to be equal to 8, neutrons is going to be equal to 16 minus 8, and this is equal to 8, and electrons is going to be equal to 8 minus negative 2. Negative and negative is positive, so this is equal to 10 electrons. We have calcium ion with a positive 2 of charge. So as always, protons 20, neutrons 40 minus 20, electrons 20 minus positive 2. This is equal to 20 minus 2, and this is equal to 18. And this is how you find protons, neutrons, and electrons for ions.